My name's Rachel Manwaring, and we have 5 kids together. I've served as a primary president 2 times, and I'm currently serving as a Sunbeam teacher.
I was bishop of our previous ward before we moved, and I currently serve on the High Council in our stake.
When I met Jonathan, Jameson was on his mission in Canada, and all I had ever heard of was how amazing Jameson is.
I had a wonderful mission experience. In fact, I extended it as long as the church would allow, another month and a half. Probably because I realized there would be some tough decisions that awaited me when I came home. And when I came home, I knew that and found that those feelings still hadn't changed.
And we would get together with Jameson very frequently, almost a few times a week. We got really close. We'd always been close, but we really got even closer living here together, and our kids became really close to him. Well, about 10 years ago or so, he had called me one night, and he asked me if I would come over to his house just to talk. And, you know, we were close, but we usually didn't call each other over to talk. And so I said sure, and I got in my car and I drove over. And so as I sat down in his condo and we started talking, he told me he had same-sex attraction, as he referred to it. And immediately when I heard those words and saw his face, in that moment, the only thing that came to my mind was how much I loved him, and how much I wanted him to know that I loved him. And I told him that didn't matter in terms of my love to him, and I still loved him the same. And the only thing I could think of doing then was giving him a big hug and telling him I loved him. And I remember hugging him for a long time and knowing that things were going to be okay, and knowing that he was still my brother, that not only was did I know this part about him now, but just through that experience we had come closer because he had confided in me something so important, and I felt honored to be the person he would ask. And I could tell a big weight was lifted from his shoulders because he was able to be completely authentic with who he was. Well, shortly after that, I told him that anything that he tells me, I'm gonna have to share it with my wife, because anything that we talk about, anything that goes through our lives, we talk together about. And he was fine with that. And so I came home and we went over back to, or he came to our house, and he talked to Rachel about it.
At that moment, I don't remember feeling shock like I thought I probably would. But I remember being confused. I remember not knowing what that meant, but I knew I needed Jameson to stay close, and I really wanted to talk, and I wanted to find out about what he was feeling. And as he did, I thought of him as a child, and I imagined this child knowing this about himself and not feeling okay, and thinking he wasn't good enough, and being confused and feeling like he had to keep this secret. And I think that's when it really hit me that he needed to feel love, and he needed to feel it now, and he needed to feel it for all those years that maybe he was confused or by himself. And so we really just wanted him around us a lot, and we did have him around us a lot. The conflict of what I always thought gay was and what I always thought gay people were like, and looking at Jameson, and he didn't meet any of that criteria. He was none of those things I had been told, and I had never known a gay person up until I knew Jameson, until he had come out to us. So it was a conflict, but it was so right and so good, and it felt so good to now see what what it really was.
And I felt myself over months and years just having a softened heart toward people in general and toward the paths that people walk, because someone so close to me was experiencing a lonely path. But I think it was good for him to have us, and it was good for us to have him.
For some members of my family, it was harder than others. But for a few of my members of the family who have been there from the beginning and have really tried to walk the journey with me and try to understand something that they couldn't completely comprehend, I'm so thankful that they have been there the whole way. And I've never felt alone ever since that time.
We just want to say that we walk with our gay brother, brother-in-law, uncle, and we want to walk with all of our brothers and sisters.
We're the Manwarings,
and we'll walk with you.